Neuroparasite now only lasts 12 seconds. You know what? I kind of noticed that when you mind control a unit with Neuroparasite on the Infestor, typically the unit doesn't end up lasting for more than 12 seconds anyways. Either the Infestor dies or you end up killing the unit anyways. So I don't feel like this change affects too much, but I could be wrong. Infested Terrans now last 30 seconds instead of 20. I don't care too much for that. But they can be cast while the Infestor is burrowed. So that is a pretty cool ability. Now you can burrow your Infestor and throw those Infested Terrans into sieged tank lines and just watch the carnage unravel upon itself. Or you can burrow the Infestors and just throw some Infested Terrans under the mineral lines. So I really like that change. That's going to generate some pretty cool abilities and a lot of nice metagame strats and tactics. Alright, so moving on. Overlords now, the creep generation sounds a little bit quieter. I like that. It was getting kind of annoying always hearing the pooping sound constantly. So that's good. And I also noticed when I was playing today, we require more minerals. That has been chopped off. You don't hear that S anymore. In fact, the whole voice was revamped for that. It sounds, it took some getting used to, but I think it's a little bit better. So that's all the Zerg changes. The Terran changes now. The add-on hotkeys have been changed. Now, before when you grouped a barracks, let's say you had two barracks, one with a tech lab, one with a reactor. You grouped them together, and you wanted to build a Marine and a Marauder, or two Marines and a Marauder, or something like that. What would happen before is it would build the two Marines in the reactor. Then you could push tab again and build the Marauders in the other building with the tech lab. Now if you push MMM, it'll put two Marines in the barracks with the reactor, as well as a Marine in the one with the tech lab, and that did not happen before. So now what you have to do is split your buildings apart. You've got a different hotkey set for buildings with tech labs, and a different hotkey set for buildings with reactors. And so it's made it a little bit more difficult. You have to have multiple hotkeys now to control buildings that have different add-ons, so it's a little bit more confusing. Barracks build time up from 60 seconds to 65 seconds. Not too sure why they changed this. I don't really think Terrans had any kind of early rush potential with barracks in the first place anyways. Perhaps they want to see more drones and probes killing the SCV while it's building the barracks. Who knows? I'm cool with that change. So that has been changed. Reaper's build time up from 40 to 45. I'm cool with that. I hate when Reapers come into your base and you're not prepared for it. So that's great. Medic AI has also been slightly improved, so now they always face the clumps of infantry on the ground instead of having to turn and face, and they seem to follow the infantry a little bit better, so I guess they don't get ahead of themselves too much anymore. So I guess that's a good change for Terran infantry. Last but not least, let's go ahead and discuss the Protoss. So for all of you Protoss maniacs out there, be sure to listen closely. So I'm not too sure if you guys are going to be happy about this, but the Zealot build time and the warp in cooldown time, and when I say that, I mean the build time from the gateway and the cooldown it took for the warp gate after Zealot was warped in, has been increased from the original 23 seconds to 28 seconds. Ouch. That has got to hurt for a Protoss player. And I think I can explain the reasoning behind this Zealot change. And what I wanted to say is the ability for a Protoss to 2-gate, proxy 2-gate a Terran player was just uncanny. If a Protoss snuck a probe early on, they could actually get the probe into the Terran base on a one-on-one map before the Terran even started building his supply depot. And if they could get a 2-gate up inside or even nearby the Terran base, they could just start pumping out Zealots with that chrono boost so quickly. And I think this is why Blizzard increased the build and warp in time. But at the same time, I think this hurts Zealots in the long run. We're probably going to see less Zealot-heavy compositions towards the late game, and I think it might hurt them a little bit against Zerg. But hey, Zealots are so strong against Zerglings anyway, so only time will tell. It's actually now easier to trap units with force fields, so you need less force fields to trap a bunch of Zerg units or Protoss or Terran units. So I guess that's a buff for Protoss. Morphing to the warp gate now takes 10 seconds instead of 3. Ouch. So that's got to hurt a little bit. Psystorm cooldown decreased from 2.5 to 2 seconds. So I guess now if you've got enough energy for 2 Psystorms, you can cast them a little bit quicker. and the Cybernetics core has a research animation. So that I like the Cybercore research animation, by the way. More research animations are always good and makes more use out of scouting. So that's pretty much it. That's all of the changes for the StarCraft 2 beta, and at least the ones that are currently being revealed by players around the world. If you guys notice any more changes, I encourage you guys to post down below, and please discuss these changes and let me know what you guys think, and sound it off. If you guys have a problem with something, like the Zealots taking longer to build, mention it down below. And with that, that's that. I just thought I'd make this video for those of you guys who were interested in the undocumented changes, and have fun playing StarCraft 2 beta, guys, while it's still up. Phase 2 is going on till July 19th, and hopefully I'll see you guys online. Of course, I'll still be making videos, you bet you, and I'll still be making them when retail comes out. And we've got a lot of plans in the works, Husky and I, so make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe if you guys like what you see.